Hello, Enid. I'm Derrick Silas, your host for City Update, and with me today is City Manager Jerald Gilbert. Thank you, Jerald.
It's good to be here with you today.
Likewise. Let's get right into it. We have a lot of things going on in the City of Enid. The City of Enid is announcing new commercial dumpster rates. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, hey, our dumpster rates, our current ordinances allow the city manager to adjust those rates. I started doing that. We thought it was a good idea to start doing that a few years ago. Our rates are still very, very competitive, but we certainly have to replace equipment, trash trucks, landfill cells, and so we thought it was prudent to make that rate increase. And I think we're still anywhere from 40 to 50% lower than the competition. So,
yes.
As some folks may not know, residential customers have to get polycarts from us, but commercial customers have a choice, and so they can shop around. So even with the 5% rate increase that you see on the screen, our rates are still by far better than our competitors, and we believe our service is better too. So we welcome those customers, but we do have to keep up modernizing our equipment and paying for cost to remove solid waste. So we try to do that every year now in conjunction with the automatic utility rate and stormwater increases.
Okay, that's good to know. Also, the city is doing a program, a sanitary sewer root control program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, that's a maintenance program that we do every year. Engineering coordinates that and lets the bids. And typically a company will come into the city and they will focus on different areas of the city, sewer lines. And many times they will smoke test them if necessary, and they will go in there and do maintenance on those lines, because when you see the picture of the inside of a sewer plant, like we can see with cameras when they video it, you'll see fine little roots that get into the system, and over time that collects debris and matter and can plug up the line. So with the root control, they can go in there and they can cut those roots, and they can also put materials in there that dissolve those roots and keep the lines moving smoothly and clearly. So.
Okay. And according to the press release, the sanitary route program will take approximately 30 days to complete, and this began on Tuesday, January the 19th.
Does it say who got it? Duke's Root Control normally is one of the companies that we use frequently.
We did not specify the organization. So that's good. I'm sure everybody in the city of Enid knows this by now, but we will have a candidate forum tomorrow, January the 26th, at the Stride Bank Center. This is being hosted by the Enid News and Eagle with partnerships with the radio stations and what have you. And the city of Enid will be also live streaming it on our page. You want to talk a little bit about that?
You bet. I appreciate, first of all, we have a good set of candidates in Ward 3, 4, and 6. And so that's fantastic that people want to come and serve selflessly, because there's nothing to really be gained. If you're looking for praise in that job, you probably are applying for the wrong job, and it doesn't pay very well. In fact, it doesn't pay at all. However, what it does do is allow civic-minded people to come in and serve in a strategic role for the city and oversee our policies, our ordinances, our budget, and direct that city staff and help focus city staff on improving services for the public and improving infrastructure. So I'm excited to hear from the candidates myself, so I'll probably go sit in the back of the room and listen to them. I believe in Ward 3 we have Kent Rorick and Keith Saragusa.
Yes, we have, yes.
And in Ward 4 we have Jonathan Waddell, who is our incumbent Ward 4 commissioner, but also Lloyd Kaufman, and is it Whitney Roberts? And she's running. And then in Ward 6, we have Scott Orr, Michael Shuck, and Ryan Redd.
That is correct.
And so I have noticed some of these candidates coming to council meetings over the past 2 or 3 meetings. And so I have visited with some of them. I look forward to visiting with all of them in the future. I wish all of them luck. And, you know, it should be informative for the public. The newspaper media sources and the public, I think, will supply the questions. So.
Yes.
I know it will be interesting for all of us, and I appreciate communications being there to facilitate airing that so that more people can see it on YouTube and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of this forum, right after the forum, February 9th will be the date that you'll go to the polls, those in Ward 3, 4, and 6 for the city elections, and that's on the screen as well. And the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in those areas, in those wards. So that's good.
Yep.
Okay, let's go to one of our most favorite parts of this weekly update, and that will be the department updates. So number one, we want to talk about our intern in the communications department, Kirby Scott. He joined us about 2 weeks ago. This will be his third week, and if you see on the screen, you'll see some of the things he has been doing. He performed in the singing of Put Your Head on My Shoulder, and he's a very good singer. Oh. Operating the boom mic for 4 More Reasons on last week, and he also did teleprompter for other singers for that same purpose of the Valentine PSA. You'll see that coming soon on February 14th. So be on the lookout for that on our Facebook page. In the human resources area, there are various jobs up for that we're recruiting for, and as you can see on the screen, assistant golf superintendent, which is a new position that has been added to our plethora of positions. And you may notice some of the other ones. Police officers are always in need. People in the area of solid waste, network technician, and CIC attendant. In the area of public works, you'll see crews that were making repairs to a collapsed storm drain on West Randolph. We want to thank the Public Works Department for all that they do to keep our roadways, to maintain them, and to help with the stormwater issues. Next department is Parks and Recreation. Here the crews are pouring the tee pads for the disc golf course at Middle Lake Park. A lot of interest in that, and it's going to be great to see the finalization of that project. Mm-hmm. Next, we have the Technical Services Department. Here's the crews were clearing out a drain at the car wash. So they do a good job at what they do, maintaining all of our vehicles. They're fixing all of our fleets. So, or that's technical services. The next one I'm talking about is fleet services. So fleet management, that's what I'm trying to aim for. Fleet management is the crews install a new pump on a truck in the city's fleet. And they're the ones who do a good job at maintaining all of our vehicles. And we appreciate them. Solid waste services. Solid waste grinding here is grinding a brush at the landfill. Appreciate all they do. Water production. The pumpage for the week was 52,125,210 gallons that they were pumped and calibrated. Utility maintenance is the next department. And in this department, the utility maintenance service, they did a emergency service line repair at Davis and Chestnut. Okay. Now, for the next section, let's talk about a recap of the commission meetings. Tell us what happened at the commission meeting and what can we maybe expect next time.
Okay, yeah. Hey, one of the main things that was talked about at the last commission meeting was an effort by the city focusing on infrastructure in the future and specifically on improving fire flows in many parts of the city. We had a presentation by Ken Helms, the fire marshal, and he talked about the city's 3 priorities to work on in that regard. And the number 1 priority was the Southern Heights Garfield Addition area. Mm-hmm. And the number 2 area was the area between about 5th and 10th Street, north of Garriott on Park in Oklahoma, kind of in that area. And the 3rd area was over on the Kenwood Historic Addition here in town. And those areas were selected because, for various reasons, but one of them is they have many inadequate fire hydrants, which Ken Helms educated us on, are primarily to help support protecting property, more so than lives. He mentioned that although we've made some improvements north of Garriott in that area between 5th and 10th, they've been more on Broadway and Randolph and Maple and in that area. And the streets closer to Garriott, Park, Cherokee, Oklahoma, those are the areas we'll focus on, trying to improve those areas as well. Okay. And then in the Kenwood Addition, there's many older historic homes and 2-story homes. And so I know that in the next budget that we present to the city, and we'll probably present that at the end of April or early May. We'll have at least the number 1 area in there. I don't know how much money that's going to cost, but whatever it is, we'll work very hard to get that in the budget to improve those fire flows. And then it also helps support development. People that want to build houses or build businesses will hopefully be better able to do that. Right now in the southern end or the Garfield Addition area, I think every hydrant's red. And so we're going to fix that in the next budget year. So I'm excited about that. I appreciate the support of all the commissioners, so I'm sure that will become a reality. There was also a discussion from the auditor. The city's in good financial condition. We should have the audit on the website or be getting it on the website real soon. It's out there for everybody to see.
It will be once it's finalized and approved by the commission.
Very good. Yeah,
Yes.
it got approved at the last meeting. So
So we can put it on there now. Okay.
It's good to go now. So anybody that wants some reading, it depends on your perspective how interesting it is, but it does show that net position, net assets, cash, fund balance are pretty much going up in every fund, general fund, municipal authority fund. So the city's in relatively good financial condition, and we've certainly planned and worked to be that way to take on the Call Lake project and all the other infrastructure projects that we need, like we just talked about the water lines. One other issue that was talked about at the meeting that's a difficult issue is the homeless issue downtown. I know the city recently, early in January, issued a building permit for 580, and that was all discussed at the meeting. The city believes that we did follow our processes and rightfully issued the permit, but we also know there's valid concerns from many businesses downtown, worried that what 580 is planning to do with that outdoor seating, awning, and bathroom will make the problem worse. And so they have filed an appeal, and currently that appeal is expected to be heard in either February or March, depending on when the 300-foot certified list comes in. Today is the deadline to get on the February 9th meeting. So if we miss this deadline, we'll be looking at March 9th, or the city will work to try and perhaps have a special meeting sooner, okay, so that we can get that resolved, hopefully. And in the meantime, if all the parties want to sit down or visit, the city would certainly love to help facilitate or be a part of that, because I think it'd be better for neighbors just to work it out with neighbors if that's possible. Okay. So anyway, those are the highlights of the meeting from last time. I know next time we're about a week out. We'll be talking, one of the things we'll be talking about is street improvements. We'll be talking about fixing potholes. And we'll be talking about our new piece of equipment, our new truck that does that. In fact, I think you're going to be making a video for the public to see soon. And we'll also be talking about all the concrete panel repairs that we made on concrete streets this fiscal year. And we've spent all the $600,000 that we had allotted, and we believe that's an outstanding program, so we're probably going to ask for more money, and I believe there may be more funding available. So those will be probably highlights. Kurt Rogo is going to come and talk about the upcoming legislative session, but that's probably what the study session is shaping up to be like next Tuesday at the Stride Center.
Okay.
And then you pointed out that this week is the candidate forum. Next week's the commission meeting, and the next Tuesday is the election. So,
correct.
So we will probably know, at least in Ward 3 and Ward 4, or possibly in Ward 4, who our commissioners are before the end of the night.
Yep.
So it's possible that Ward 4 and Ward 6 with 3 candidates, it's possible there could be a runoff. So if there's a runoff, it'll go to the runoff election in April.
Okay. And then they will be, they will come on board in June? It will be June?
They'll come on board at the first meeting in May.
First meeting in May.
They'll get sworn in, and it's always tough to come in at that time frame because we're talking budget. So
yeah.
Hopefully all the candidates will be listening online or coming into the meeting because we'll start budget discussions probably in April.
So hopefully they'll start even looking before that time in April to catch up with what's going on with the budget.
Yes.
So they're ready in May. Okay. Our next section is talking mostly about the public health. The current COVID numbers for the Garfield County, total confirmed cases are 6,644. For Enid, it's 5,859. Deaths related to COVID, 58 in the county, 54 in Enid. As you can see, those numbers also for the recovered and the active cases. So right now we have 389 here in Enid active cases. hopefully the numbers will get better over time, being that the vaccine is out. So
Yes.
hopefully the numbers will get lower and lower and lower.
Me too.
Yep. I just want to remind everybody that the Enid Transit is still participating in the free rides to vaccination appointments at the mall. So if you're still needing appointments at the mall, call 580-233-RIDE. If you already have an appointment, they will be glad to take you there for free for your appointment. And I think we're still in phase 2 of
Yes.
the vaccination. So
Yes, which I believe is the over 65s and the first responders and the healthcare workers.
Mhm.
I know at some point that will probably change, but still a lot of those folks that maybe haven't been able to get a vaccination. So hopefully they can get signed up and get out there. And like you said, if they need a ride, thank you, Transit, for giving them a ride.
Well, that concludes our city update for today. We want to thank you guys for joining us, as always, and always thank you. You have a
Okay,
plethora
thank
of
you.
information.
Thank you, Derrick.
Join us next week, 1:30 p.m.